Hi everyone, it's me Willow and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And welcome back to part 2 of my review on Star Wars The Force Awakens. So part 1 will be linked down below if you haven't seen it. But basically I was just talking about everything Han Solo in that video because it kind of just consumed so much time. So hopefully I'll get into more of the logistics of what I thought of the whole film besides the one part of Han Solo and like everything else that's happening with Han Solo right now. But just to recap and everything, so I was just talking about how it was probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. But it got completely wrecked by Han Solo's death in the film. And as I was saying, I kind of felt like it was possibly going to happen or anything, and then when it was coming up to the point where he's going to die, I knew it was going to happen. I just felt like how obvious it was being. And obviously, like I said, it just kind of lost an appeal for me. Just being they killed off my favorite character. How am I going to just sit through the rest of the movie without crying, basically? And yeah, that's basically just how I was both times I saw it, because I saw it twice. And yeah, that's just really how I felt with that part. But with everything else, I think it was a really, really good movie. Though, as a lot of people have been saying, I do think that it was a lot like New Hope in a lot of ways. And not just with the references and everything. I love the references. I thought they were hilarious. The trash compactor. Oh my god, that was hilarious. I really, really liked that whole scene part. What else? I don't know. Just every single time an old character came on, so C-3PO and R2-D2, and just all those characters, they would come on, and the whole arena, not the arena, the theater would scream and clap and be like, oh my god, yes, they're back. So I loved all of that and everything, with all the nostalgia and everything. But it did have basically the same plot, sort of. Not a whole lot. It's some logistics to New Hope. With that nostalgia, obviously, and with somebody being captured and we have to save them, and we have to destroy the Death Star, and instead of the Death Star this time, it's Starkiller Base, and instead of it being smaller or the same size as the last Death Star, it is humongous. So, and then we go in and we fight and we destroy it, but obviously the head guys get away. So that's the logistics of how it was very similar to New Hope. Though I can't complain about it. I think it's set up for episode 8 very, very well, which I like, because it leaves with a lot of questions that need to be answered. The film left off with some sort of cliffhanger type ending, sort of with Luke finally being revealed on, I'm not sure what the planet he is on, what it's called, but with Rey giving him his handing him his lightsaber, basically being here you go, I found you, please help us, we need your help so bad, stuff like that. But it just ends, so it's definitely a cliffhanger type thing, which is annoying because we have to wait. Is it 2000? I think it's 2018 when the next one comes out. Maybe it's 2019. Or maybe it's next year. I don't know. Sometime in the next 3 years, it's going to air. And all those things will hopefully be resolved. And that's the big question. Who's Rey's parents? Is she related to Obi-Wan? Is she related to Luke? Is she related to Han and Leia, possibly? Is she nobody's parents? Questions of Poe's background. How is Finn going to develop? Is Finn going to be okay? Well, we kind of assume he's going to be okay, but does he have any damages or whatever from the lightsaber duel? How will we get to see Rey become a Jedi, or does she just come back with Luke and is a full Jedi and stuff? Or do we get to see the whole process that Luke went through with her? Does Ben, Kylo Ren, end up going to the light side? There's so many questions that I want to know. And that's why I'm excited for episode 8. Because of all the unanswered questions that will be answered. What was another question? Another question that I have, and I think a lot of other people are too, is how does Kylo Ren know Rey? I think that plays into who her parents are as well, because who was it? I don't know I think it was a stormtrooper. Like I said, I've only seen it twice, and it was like a month ago, so a little fuzzy on the really, really good details, but I think it was a stormtrooper who said that Finn escaped with a girl, no, it wasn't a stormtrooper, it was that officer guy that got really scared, because Kylo started, like, slashing the whole, circuit board or whatever with his lightsaber, because he got really upset, and it's like, yes, he got upset first, about Finn, that's when he did his whole lightsaber thing, but then he, like, force choked the guy when he heard that he was with this girl. Is there a prophecy type thing? Because with the whole, oh, there's a chosen one, and it was supposed to be Anakin, but it was actually ends up being Luke. Well, that's how I perceive it. I would think that's what it would be. Some sort of prophecy about this girl that's going to overpower him or something. Does he know? Is it an unknown cousin if it's Luke's daughter? Or like his long-lost sister that he never knew, twin sister, playing into the alternate universe, which... yeah, I really, really, really wanted the Solo twins, and so far I haven't got the Solo twins. I'm still holding out that Rey is Leia and Han's daughter, though I'm not sure. I don't think it'll happen, but, you know, Solo twins. Doesn't necessarily have to be Solo twins, but you get what I'm saying. So, yeah, I just want to know all this type of stuff, because I just think this movie led up to episode 8 so well, but it was very, very good as a whole, altogether. Like, it was good as a movie, like, by itself. Obviously, you can't just have it as a solo film, because it doesn't make any sense because of all the stuff they left off, but that's why they have the next films, like I'm saying. But logistics and everything, when it comes deep down, it was true Star Wars. And with everybody's disappointment and not very liking the prequels, my understanding, I definitely understand why people don't like it. There's parts of it I don't like. I don't like how much CGI they use. The reason why I love Star Wars so much is how practical it was. It was basically scraped underneath the bench, a park bench or something, all the gum and everything with it. Like, George Lucas practically paid the whole film out of his own pocket to make Star Wars, the first Star Wars. So he could have everything that he wanted. He took his name off the Director Guild so he could have the opening crawl, and he took so many stuff that a normal person wouldn't do, just so he could have his dream become true. And that's the whole thing I love about Star Wars, and how it's made me want to become a director one day, or like love screenplay and all that type of stuff, because of how Star Wars was created. And that's what takes away from the Star Wars bit in the prequels. Yes, the storytelling wasn't the best at points. A lot of people didn't like Anakin because he was whiny and everything. Though, I found Luke annoying for the first 2 films he was in, New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Luke has never been my favorite character, though I'm definitely warmed up to him in the past year. He was never my favorite character, and I understand where people come from Anakin because of how Luke was. Though once he becomes a Jedi and everything, he matures and becomes the actual Jedi part, I guess you could say. But I think I've said in the past, I don't hate the prequels. I'm okay with them. They were the very first things that, like, basically introduced me into Star Wars. Truly. the very first moment I remember of Star Wars is watching Yoda or something, and I'm pretty sure it was the original trilogy, just walking past my dad's bedroom and being intrigued and looking at it, but then having to go to bed. But the real time I was actually introduced to Star Wars was the execution scene of Attack of the Clones. And then I watched the rest of that film, then I watched Revenge of the Sith, and then I watched New Hope, watched the beginning battle of Empire Strikes Back all in one day. And then I got Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi from the movie store and watched those in like 2 days. Like, I watched them on separate nights. That's how I was introduced to Star Wars, with the prequels. So, as a person from this generation that was basically introduced to Star Wars by the prequels, I guess maybe that plays into why I don't hate it as much as other people. Though, it doesn't have the true Star Wars appeal because of all the CGI they did and everything. And that's why I love and trusted from the very beginning that I heard they were making this film, because I heard they were making practical, real-life props. That made me have all hope for this film, because they were making props. They were making costumes. They were making the Millennium Falcon, like a real-life one. They were making sets. It wasn't green screen. They were actually on the deserts and in those like beautiful water area type places for Jakku, I believe. No, Jakku's the desert planet. The place where Maz Kanata is, and the Rebel base, and where Luke is at the end of the film. They went to real life places, locations, and I just keep saying it. That's true Star Wars. There's not much else to say. This film exceeded my expectations from a film lover's point of view. I wouldn't have expected anything less from it. I think it was beautifully executed, stunningly visually, brilliant casting, brilliant casting. I don't know what to say about the cast. Like, they are amazing, and definitely a change, a humongous change in the good way. Having 2 men of color and a girl be the main leads in this film. That's mind-blowing. That wouldn't have happened in the past. Having a female as the main protagonist. Not like a side character as Princess Leia was. The main protagonist. If you saw my final Star Wars trailer reaction, you knew how happy I was. Because up to that point, I had no idea Rey was the center of attention of the film. And I was so excited. As a person that is a feminist and loves Black Widow and loves Princess Leia for their strength, but still having their feminine side to them and not being downgraded to what a female or a woman character is supposed to be portrayed as, being just as good as her male counterparts, that made me so ecstatic to have another role model to look up to, having Rey and Daisy Ridley to be able to tell my children, along with Princess Leia, that these 2 women, like, are amazing, and these are women that you should find as role models. And then I watched another girl's review. Her channel is Rita Skeeter, I believe that's what her channel is called. She reviewed this film, and she was saying how she was so happy how they didn't sexualize Rey. And I remember, like, I totally agree with her, because she gave an example as Black Widow. Black Widow is always in her black, like, catsuit type outfit, tight black leather outfit, with the zipper very low done. In the comic books, her breasts are always hanging out. She's very sexualized. Even though she kicks butt, she's very sexualized. With Rey, she was covered the entire time. She was in desert flowy outfit. It wasn't one time where they basically sexualized her. And, like I said, as a person, as a woman herself, who wants role models like this just makes me even more ecstatic to have this. And with the two men of color, it's very, very changing in life. Like, I don't even know what the word is. Like, this generation is becoming more accepting and more realizing that everybody should be treated as equal. Nobody is downgraded because of your beliefs, religions, sexuality, color, anything. Or like race, I guess that's color, and gender. I didn't mention gender, but you shouldn't be downgraded for whatever you are. We all should be treated equal. And at the beginning of, I think it was 2015, when everybody found out that Finn, who's John Boyega, is a black stormtrooper, and everybody was outraged. I found that was like the most ridiculous thing ever, and everybody was complaining, "Oh, there's never been a black character in Star Wars." And like, I'm just thinking, are you freaking serious? Like, one of the biggest Star Wars characters is African American. Sorry, I don't want to offend anybody. I would just assume he's African American. Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian. He is a man of color, and he's in the original trilogy. I don't get it. Samuel L. Jackson, who played Mace Windu. I am not sure what his name is, but the guy that plays Bail Organa, he's a man of color too. Yeah, I just don't understand how people can't treat everybody as equals, and that's why this is such a big step in the right direction by having a female lead, two men of color. And I want to praise all three of these people for not just bringing that aspect, but bringing their amazing, amazing acting abilities. I basically was just saying everything that I'm going to say again about Rey, but Daisy Ridley brought an amazing, strong female character that has basically been living on her own for her entire life. Since she was like 8, 10 years old, she's been living alone, having to fend for herself, and that showed in her character and her survival instincts, not trusting anybody, and it was just amazingly well done. Finn, John Boyega, I love him in Attack the Block. He's fabulous in that film. Whoever says it's a bad film, you're ridiculous. Go watch it again. It's amazing. He just brought it forth in Finn so well acted. I loved him. He was hilarious. He was the comedic relief that we needed in this film. And every little banter he had with Rey was hilarious, with the hand holding and running. He's like, "Why are you holding my hand?" and blah blah blah. And him not knowing which tool was what, and him being so excited when he shot the cannon off on like one of the ships when he's escaping with Poe. It was just fabulous. Like I said, this video is getting super long. It's like 18 minutes long. I'm so sorry for everybody. I ran out of time on my camera. But as I was saying, I'm going to talk about Rey and Finn and Storm Pilot, so that means Poe and Finn's relationship, and just Poe in general. In part 3 of this video, I will talk about them, because I have a lot to say about them. And then I'll probably talk about Leia and maybe a little bit more of the whole film and my thoughts. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my second part of my Star Wars The Force Awakens review. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up like I said. Comment down below your thoughts of everything and who was your favorite character. Were happy with the whole female and two men of color leads, and how do you think that is going to help change our future? Yeah, just comment anything below. I will always comment back or like it, acknowledge that I've read it. And yeah, if you like these videos, please subscribe. I appreciate all your subscribers. I'm past 200 subscribers. It's just so incredible. Never thought that would happen. So yeah, thanks for everything you guys always done. Thanks for supporting me, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!